Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Medium Red Chicken and this is episode 2 of our family run farm in Rimworld, and winter is coming. But don't worry, Game of Thrones fans, you won't have to wait as long this time. There's also not going to be any incest, so really it's nothing like Game of Thrones. We're starting largely where we left off, with Jason building a bridge over to the other side of the map. But for all his attributes, he doesn't seem to know what he's doing. Oh, Jason. Learn how to build a bridge, like, legitimately. The biggest concern for the winter is simply just having enough food to last us, as we've got around 20 in-game days where crops won't grow due to the low temperatures. However, looking at our fridges, I think we should be fine for the time being, and I can always pick off animal charities again. Our guess is so close to extending their stay indefinitely, even if I don't know how to pronounce her name. But on a good note, we have Poincop Guagua. Yeah, you get my point. Speaking of trying to pick off animal charities, I decided that we need to get rid of some of the local wildlife. However, I graciously decide to spare one buck and one doe, totally not just so that I can hold them in captivity later down the line. Rather luckily, we do manage to harvest some rice before it's too late. However, we don't have enough time for any corn, which would have been really beneficial because it has a higher yield than other crops. Despite living in the UK, I somehow managed to forget that winter is cold. I wasn't able to make any parkas, so I had to settle for using fire like some Neanderthal. It does double up as lighting though, so 2 birds with 1 stone for the time being. You really are watching a master of Rimworld at his craft. A small group of squirrels decide they want to start revolution. Their political manifesto must not have been very enticing, as they could only get the 3 of them on board. As a result, it was quite easy for multiple armed men, one of which with military experience, to squash their uprising. The first 2 must have thought they were bulletproof because they decided to run directly into line of sight, which went about as well as you'd expect. However, the third one was like the leader and a bit smarter about their tactics. Okay, right. That should be 2 of the 3 dealt with. Where is the last one? Oh, about to attack. Come on, come on. Square up. Square up, pussy. Square up, pussy. Yeah, you're in range now. Ah, you only shot 1 that time. That lasted, didn't it? We have a new recruit. What's location? What is your tainted gear? Everything except your Parker. Okay, great. So, Poincop is now part of the group. Won't firefight. Have I accidentally given a... No, okay. Thank God. Thought I'd accidentally hired a pyromaniac, because I'll be quite honest, guys, I recorded the video ages before I ever posted it. The thing is with these videos is the whole process of getting the gameplay and then writing a script and editing it. It takes a lot of time, and I don't always have that time. So obviously not this video, as you'll know because you're watching it. But some of my other videos will have to be more live commentary, just so I can actually make time for doing them on like a day off of work or something. Oh, well, they threw a party. That was nice. I was rambling, but they threw a party. Ah, and Poincop is my new favourite colonist because she instantly started crafting parkas. Well, I mean, she went to sleep pretty quick and still 120 work to do on it, but swings and roundabouts. The first sign of winter arriving has now hit the colony. The temperature outside is just too low for any crops to grow, and that also means that anyone not wearing a parka's at risk of hypothermia. Virgil will be fine, but Jason and Mikey don't have parkas yet, so they need to be monitored carefully to ensure they remain in good health. Then, as if by magic, I think I managed to summon exactly what we needed. I just realised Poincop probably needs a weapon, but You're absolutely useless. We have a combat supplier. It's like I called it. Can we just... Yeah. Right, where is this combat supplier? Coming up from the southwest. From the Theron Social Pact. Virgil buys Poincop a shiny new axe. However, it seemingly disappears. I think it's because for whatever reason the trader was about a mile off from the rest of the caravan. The Theron Social Pact must have felt bad for us, as they decided to give us more silver than we paid for the axe, which seems highly counterintuitive. Having made enough parkas for everyone, Poincop starts to partake in stone cutting so that we can spruce up the farm a bit. After way too long, we finally learn how to make batteries so that we can store power if our generators aren't working. Slight oversight on my part though, as we don't have any components. I wanted Poincop to start stone cutting so we can make some pathways out the front and we could just make everything more efficient due to there being no movement penalty on flagstone. Also, in the interest of efficiency, I set up areas for farming, blocked off by fences so wild animals can't eat our crops. However, while doing this, we had an unexpected visitor. I'll cut it short. I had absolutely no use for her, so I eventually just let her go. We're not at a point where we need a colonist just to do the basic stuff. It did prompt me to build some more rooms, though, which became useful sooner than expected. When I say sooner than expected, I mean, like, literally 2 minutes later. You are useful. You are very useful. Plants, animals, and intellectual, and crafting. Oh! Don't know why I started stimming. Out of context, that last bit sounds very, very different. Okay, so we've actually got a very useful new colonist. That is great. I am so happy about that. You are also going to be on that, but you're also going to be on researching. Nah. So now you're going to be doing a lot of research actually, because it's winter and nothing can grow. Everything's going to die. Like all of us eventually. What the man? What am I on about? Like, legitimately. Things were going weirdly well. We've had no major mental breaks apart from the child abuse. No one's majorly ill, and we don't seem to have any major bad events. However, we got a raid that's 4 times as big as we'd been getting before. We had some royal tribute visitors, so it seemed like the worst time to raid us. At first, we hide behind some fences and do kill one of theirs, but they threw tox gas at us, so we had to move away. We get some shots off at them, specifically the one with tox gas. They get some shots off at us, and then they throw tox gas again, prompting us to hide behind the royals like a bunch of pussies. This invites the royals to get involved because they don't really like wasters much either. Wasters don't like them, but the royals outmatch the wasters completely. They have shields that just deflect everything. We check Jason's injuries because he'd been shot in the head, and eventually the tox gas wielder succumbs to his injuries, prompting the last guy to, well, try and flee. After recovering from this, we start to plot out some areas for animal pens, so that when winter's over, we can have a steady supply of meat and start to make fine meals, giving our colonists a mood boost, stopping the chances of a flurry of mental breaks occurring at the same time. While this happens, Mikey drops loose game on Poincop, which is effective, and now we have an extra room spare. Also means that we can have children, which are really overpowered in Rimworld. I do swiftly realise that these pens aren't going to be big enough for us to have enough animals, so I decided that extending these out is the next logical step. I won't be taming any animals until the winter's over, as we don't have the abundance of crops for them to eat yet. I also haven't made a growing zone for hay, which is probably the easiest source of food for animals in Rimworld. We finally get solar panels, which is where I'm going to end this video. I'm aware this is a bit shorter than part 1, but it was more to do with less actually happening in this episode in terms of raids and things. Anyways, if you enjoyed, please make sure to like, comment and subscribe. We're getting really close to 10 subscribers, which isn't a lot to some people. You might not think it's a lot, but it would mean a lot to me. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Bye.